Under the guise of advancing or doing positive, taking positive action towards things in among society and civilization, uh, there shouldn't be an enabling space to protect or to give room for people who do wrongs and want to wash away the attention, or even worse, the acknowledgement and the punishment from the wrongs they've done and or continue to do. And it is important to understand how this affects the advancement of society and civilization, because both in the sense of affecting society, which is represented by people living in the world, and civilization, what we consider technological advancements, the hubs, sort of cities and so on, both are affected, and they're not affected positively, while the image of seemingly done that gives that false sense of comfort and that illusion of it is going towards something that is beneficial at that moment in long term to people, to situations, and so on. So, in more needy situations, it's even worse. But all of this is enabled through the small things and the big things. When people do wrong. And just because evil people who happen to have power and access understand how to toil away with the emotions and the judgment of society, because their fondness of ignorance and quick forgetting things happens to be so robust among humanity. It doesn't mean, it doesn't take away from what is wrong, what continues to enables, and the fact that it's nothing more than just illusions. That's it. There's nothing of value there. So, if you want what's best for yourself, even if you want to care about others, you have to care about the well being of society. And if you care about the well being of society, you should care enough about the well being of others where it matters about the sense of their peace and benefit enough that they both can contribute to advance a civilization you selfishly enjoy, but also the service, and also in peace avoid destroying or not being able to perform in those jobs, in those things you enjoy so much, or worse, cause significant harm to others, to the peace, to the ability of you selfishly enjoying yourself, whatever you are, especially if they have access, but even if they don't. So obviously, even if you want to be the most selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed, narcissist person in the universe, you still depend on those things unless you're planning to go in a bubble in the middle of God knows where there's nothing at all that is alive that you live off of, forced or not. So even, and I'm going to touch on this topic because it kind of brings it to the point. I mean, if you want to talk about slavery and owning people, etc., as it seems to be the mindset of some people in tech business, top to bottom, I include people at the very bottom who seem to worship this mindset and lifestyle with the hopes that they believe that by doing so, one day they'll too join the others at the top. Anyone who has employees understand how the balance of what benefits having people work for you, and you gain the most peak of those benefits financially and obviously in productivity also depends on their well-being. So no matter how you want to twist things, the actions that are done right now by society, by people in leadership, business, etc., and their worshippers and their beliefs and what they want to push, obviously ignorance reaps ignorance. And the fact that all these people have always been in power, at least in the last decade, there has been very little switch among the circles of people who have power. And 10 years is a long time having everything and taking from people, subjugating people, claiming other people this and that, having all of that and all these people helping you say that. But one nobody with nothing, with diseases, poor is keeping you from in 10 freaking years? You kidding? And you get things like COVID, these wars, the financial situations, etc. Who are you joking? And you, the same people who only made it worse, even in the last couple, as you help the most rotten people as celebrities, as the images, etc., and so on, while you try to erase, diminish, and even abuse, hurt, and mock in the most disgusting of ways those who do positive, and you know and you are aware have the answers and solutions to a lot of the problems. So get what you invest on. But if you're gonna be apologizing for rotten people because they go do some act of charity or move money here, that's on you. But it doesn't take away. They're very aware of what they have and what they do, and when they're being busted, every time they always pretend to do something. And ironically, from all those charities and so on, most of them are BS when you look back. And I'm saying from one prolific person that has harassed my life to everyone around in those same circle. You can look. It's there. It's public evidence. And it's anecdote of over 10 years of I did this, I offered to do that, not just in their own companies and or images of said, as artists, like actresses promising to donate millions of dollars and work here at this orphans hospital because, she wants to look good, and then you find out not only that's BS, but on top of it, it's stage and also happens to be lying about her personal situation, her marriage, setting up people, being abusive, etc. And all of this done to elevate Ria, and it happens to be in the same circle of people. So when you start to see that and you still keep hailing these people and or ignoring and or quietly, passively barely ever talking about any of the wrongs, and even worse, ignoring victims and stories because it's uncomfortable, you get what to invest on.